6.1.
Do you need any help?
Thanks. My name's Olga. I'm a student. What do you do?
I work in advertising. Olga, I'm falling in love with you. Will you marry me?
Yes, I will.
You know how many calories there are in a bar of chocolate?
Are you saying I'm fat? I don't think you're really my type.
I'll see you around. Bye.
6.2. 1.
Girl. G. Bargain. Newsagents. Argument. Ground floor.
2.
Jazz. J. Vegetables. Manager. Change. Gift shop.
3.
Key. K. Discount. Bakers. Queue. Receipt.
4.
Shower. Sh. Shoe shop. Stationers. Cereals. Washing powder.
5.
Chess. Ch. Butchers. Chemists. Cheese. Choose.
6.3. 1.
You can't get cheese at a chemist's.
2.
I had an argument with the manager of the gift shop.
3.
I had to queue for ages at the baker's.
4.
Could you give me the receipt for the shoes, please?
5.
My new green jacket was a bargain.
6.4. 1.
I was in a taxi in Greece, in Athens, and I was going into the centre to do some shopping, and the taxi driver started chatting to me. He asked me where I was from. When I said I was English, he started getting really aggressive. He said that he didn't like the English and that all English people were football hooligans. He went on and on. He just wouldn't stop. I got really annoyed. I thought, why do I have to listen to all of this? So I asked him to stop the taxi and let me get out. Luckily, he stopped and I got out. And, of course, I didn't pay him anything.
2.
This happened to me recently when I was travelling around France on business. I was really tired because I'd been working and travelling all day. Anyway, when I got to the hotel in Toulouse, it was the evening, I checked in and the receptionist gave me the key to my room. So I went up to my room and opened the door, but it was a complete mess. The bed wasn't made, there were dirty towels on the floor, and the bathroom was filthy. I went downstairs and told the receptionist, and he said that I would have to wait for half an hour while they prepared the room. But I was exhausted and needed to rest, so I told him to give me another room straight away. Luckily, he did.
3.
This happened to me last week. I went to a restaurant in London with my family to celebrate my dad's birthday. Anyway, my dad ordered ravioli, and when his dish arrived, he saw that it had a long black hair in it. So he asked the waitress to take it back and bring him another one. She brought him another plate of ravioli, and it was fine, and we finished our meal. But when my dad asked for the bill, he saw that they had charged us for the ravioli. He didn't think that was right. He thought the ravioli should be free because he had found a hair in it. So he asked the waitress to take it off the bill. She went away and spoke to the manager, and he came and apologised, and he took the ravioli off the bill.
6.5. 1,
How's this word pronounced?
2,
My car's been stolen.
3,
When was this house built?
4,
Our television's being repaired.
5,
I've been offered the job.
6,
When will the new airport be finished?
6.6.
So, how did you get involved in the film, Dagmara?
Well, as you probably know, a lot of the film Schindler's List was shot in Kraków, in Poland, which is where I live. And before the actual shooting of the film started, the film company had an office in Kraków, and I got a job there translating documents and parts of the script, things like that. I was a university student at the time.
But how did you get the job as Spielberg's interpreter in the film?
It's a funny story. I didn't think I would ever get to meet Spielberg or any of the actors. But then, just before the shooting started, there was a big party in one of the hotels in Kraków, and I was invited. At first, I wasn't going to go. I was tired after working all day, and I didn't think I had anything suitable to wear. But in the end, I borrowed a jacket from a friend, and I went. But when I arrived at the party, the producer, who was Polish, came up to me and said, "Dagmara, you're going to interpret for Steven Spielberg. You have to translate his opening speech because the girl who was going to do it couldn't come."
How did you feel about that?
I couldn't believe it. I was just a student. I had no experience of interpreting. And now I was going to have to speak in front of hundreds of people. I was nervous, so I drank a couple of glasses of champagne to give myself courage. But when I started speaking, I was so nervous that I confused the dates of the Second World War. But luckily, I managed to get to the end without making any more mistakes. And afterwards, during the party, Spielberg came up to speak to me to say thank you. He was really nice to me and said he was impressed by the way I had interpreted. And then he said, "I'd like you to be my interpreter for the whole film." I couldn't believe it. I had to pinch myself to believe that this was happening to me.
6.7.
So, what exactly did you have to do?
I had to go to the film set every day. A car came every day to pick me up from my house. I felt really important. And then what I had to do was to translate Spielberg's instructions to the Polish actors as well as the extras. I had to make them understand what he wanted. It was really exciting. Sometimes I felt as if I was a director myself.
Was it a difficult job?
Sometimes it was really difficult. The worst thing was when we kept having to shoot a scene again and again because Spielberg thought it wasn't exactly right. Some scenes were repeated as many as 16 times. And then sometimes I would think that maybe it was my fault that I hadn't translated properly what he wanted, so I would get really nervous. I remember one scene where we just couldn't get it right and Spielberg started shouting at me because he was stressed. But in the end we got it right and then he apologized and I cried a little, because I was also very stressed. And after that it was all right again.
So, was Spielberg difficult to work with?
Not at all. I mean, he was very demanding. I had to do my best every day, but he was really nice to me. I felt he treated me like a daughter. For instance, he was always making sure that I wasn't cold. It was freezing on the set most of the time. And he would make sure I had a warm coat and gloves and things. It was hard work, but it was fascinating. An amazing experience.
What did you think of the finished film?
I believe that Schindler's List is truly a great movie. A masterpiece. I think the actors were brilliant, especially Liam Neeson and Ben Kingsley, and I love the way it was shot in black and white, with colour in just one scene. But as you can imagine, I can't be very objective about it. I mean, I lived through nearly every scene, and when I watch it, and I've seen it a lot of times, I always remember exactly where I was at that moment. I can't help thinking, oh, there I am, hiding under the bed or standing behind that door.
Six 6.8.
It's 12 noon, and so it's time for today's competition. Today the topic is heroes and icons. As usual, the rules are very simple. I'm going to give you 8 clues, and you have to identify the people. If you know all the answers, send them to me straight away by email. The first person who sends me the correct answers wins a prize. Today's prize is 2 plane tickets to the Big Apple, New York. OK, so let's get started with those clues. I'll say each one twice only, and remember, I always give you the first letter or letters of the word I'm looking for. Today, they are all people's names. Let's start with an easy one. 2 letters, B and G. It's a man who is probably the richest man in the world, the founder of Microsoft. That's B.G., the man who started Microsoft. Number 2. 2 letters again, J and P, although this isn't the name he was born with. A man whose humanity made him an icon for millions of people all over the world. This religious leader was born in Poland, but he died in Rome in 2005. Number 3 begins with M, just one word. It's the name of a woman who has had a lot of different jobs. She's been an actress, she's even written children's books, but she's most famous as a singer. One word beginning with M. And number 4. Now this time it's a man, and the letters are G and A, though many people just know him by his surname. He's an Italian designer whose clothes are considered among the most elegant in the world, and whose name is also on perfume bottles everywhere. G and A for an Italian fashion designer. On to number 5. 2 letters, J and O. It's the name of a famous American woman whose first husband was president of the USA and whose second husband was a Greek millionaire. Although she died in 1994, she's still admired for her style all over the world. 2 letters, J and O. And number 6. Now, it's a woman again, and the letters are M and N. She's the woman who changed the shape of women's tennis and is possibly the greatest female player of all time. She was born in Prague, but later became a US citizen. M and N for the greatest ever woman tennis player. Number 7 is an American actor. He was born in Kentucky in 1961, and he is often called the most attractive male actor in Hollywood today. He first became famous in a TV hospital drama in which he played the part of a doctor. His first name begins with G and his surname with C. So that's a Hollywood actor, G and C. And finally, number 8. 2 letters, M and C. She was born in Greece and died in Paris. And she is the woman whose voice is familiar to lovers of opera all over the world. Nicknamed La Divina, her life was tragic, but her voice will never be forgotten. M.C. La Divina. So, if you think you've got the 8 correct answers, email them to me now at this address. guessthenames@bt.com. That's guessthenames@bt.com. And the first person with the correct answers will win those 2 tickets to New York. Time for some music.
Six 6.9.
Leader. Composer. Designer. Footballer. Painter. Photographer. Presenter. Actor. Conductor. Director. Inventor. Sculptor. Politician. Musician. Physicist. Cyclist. Guitarist. Scientist. Violinist.
6.10. Song. Holding Out for a Hero.
Where have all the good men gone, and where
6.11.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Did you have a nice weekend?
Oh, yeah. You'll never guess who I saw on Saturday.
Who?
Ali and Mark in the Louvre. Together.
Really?
You're joking.
It was definitely them. And they looked really close. I think they were holding hands.
No, I don't believe it.
It's true, I'm telling you. And I think they saw me because they turned and left really quickly.
Are you serious?
You know, I'm not surprised. I think they've been seeing each other ever since Mark arrived. Or maybe even before.
That's incredible. What makes you say that?
When I went to look at Mark's new apartment, I'm sure Ali called him on his mobile. And I've seen her looking at him in a certain way.
Hey, quiet everyone. It's Mark.
Hi.
Hi.
Good morning.
6.12.
You'll never guess who I saw on Saturday.
Really?
You're joking. No, I don't believe it.
It's true, I'm telling you.
Are you serious? That's incredible.
6.13.
Dear all, please find attached a copy of the latest sales report from the USA. Mark. So, did you guys have a good weekend?
Yes, fine.
Not bad. Very quiet.
What about you, Mark?
Oh, I spent most of the time at home, just being domestic, you know. The apartment's looking pretty nice now. You must come around for a meal one evening.
That would be very nice.
So didn't you go out at all?
Oh, sure. I went to the Louvre on Saturday. I felt like getting a bit of culture.
On your own?
Yeah. I kind of prefer going to museums and galleries on my own. You can look at everything at your own pace.
That's funny. I went to the Louvre on Saturday too.
Really? I didn't see you.
Well, it's a big place. I didn't see you either.
I've just had an email from Ali.
So have I.
Me too.
Dear Mark, thank you for the information. And thank you, darling, for a wonderful weekend, Ali.
6.14.
You must come around for a meal one evening.
That would be very nice.
So didn't you go out at all?
I felt like getting a bit of culture.
That's funny. I went to the Louvre on Saturday too. I didn't see you either.
.15. 1.
Did you go to that new restaurant last night?
Yeah, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Why not?
Well, our soup was cold, and then I asked for my steak well done, but it was burnt. So I asked the waiter to take it back, and then I had to wait 10 minutes for another one, by which time my husband's meal was cold.
2.
What did you think of it then?
Oh, I was a bit disappointed, to be honest.
Yeah? I loved it. What didn't you like?
Well, I thought Scarlett Johansson was good, and the one who played her husband...
Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, he was good too. But the story was just ridiculous. I mean, the bit when he went to see his ex-wife, a man would never do that.
Oh, I don't agree. I thought it was completely believable. I loved the soundtrack too.
Yeah, that was all right.
3.
Oh, I like your sweater. Is it new?
Yeah, I bought it in the sales.
How much?
What do you think?
80? 100?
No. It was originally £90, but then it had a 25% discount.
£70?
Less, 67. It was a real bargain.
Oh.
4.
You were an extra in a film once, weren't you?
Yeah, it was when I was studying at university in Leeds, and they were making Chariots of Fire. The one about the two athletes.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Anyway, I saw an advertisement in the paper saying that they were looking for extras. So I went along, and I was in a scene that was being filmed in a pub.
What did you have to do?
Nothing. I was just sitting at a table, pretending to drink beer. I didn't have to say anything, but I was still quite nervous. When I saw the film at the cinema, I waited and waited for the pub scene, but it wasn't there.
They cut it?
Yeah. I suppose the film was too long or something.
What a pity.
Yeah.
5.
I saw a fascinating programme on TV last night.
What was it?
It was about Brunel. Did you see it?
No. Who's Brunel? Isn't he that boxer?
A boxer? That was Frank Bruno.
Oh, yeah.
Brunel was a famous architect, wasn't he?
Well, you're a bit closer than Susan. He built lots of famous bridges, like that one in Bristol.
Oh, that's right. He was an engineer, wasn't he?
Yes, not exactly a boxer.
6.16.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Poets' Corner. It's the place in the cathedral where many famous British novelists and poets are buried. And as you can see, this is the tomb of the great novelist Charles Dickens. He was born on February the 7th, 1812, the second of 7 children. He had a very unhappy childhood. His parents had money problems. His father owed a lot of money. And so at the age of 12, Dickens was sent to work in a factory. When Dickens was older, he started working as a journalist, and later he began writing his wonderful novels. Probably the most famous of them is David Copperfield, which has been translated into almost every language in the world. Dickens was unhappily married, and in 1858 he and his wife Catherine separated. But not before they had had 10 children. Dickens' last novel, Our Mutual Friend, was unfinished when he died suddenly at home at the age of 58. Now, if you follow me through here, we can see the tomb of a very famous British poet. Ladies and gentlemen, this way, please.